reported from the UK and from the US. Next, we're going to turn to Kashmir because Pakistani officials say at least 9 people were killed when Indian shelling hit a passenger bus in the disputed Kashmir region. Now, we know this bus was travelling from a place called Kel to Muzaffarabad. And if I bring up a more detailed map, we can highlight the fact that while India and Pakistan both claim Kashmir in its entirety, in reality at the moment both control segments of it. And what's happened with the shelling is the latest evidence that tension is rising in the region. Now, Rahu Joglekar is from BBC Asian Network. He's here to help us understand the situation. We know the Indians take responsibility for this shelling. How do they justify that a bus was targeted?
So we've just had a statement come in from the Indian side just a few hours ago, and this is describing a conversation between a senior Indian Army general in the Kashmir region talking to his counterpart in Pakistan. The Indians have said consistently that they have been targeting army bases on the other side of the line of control. The line of control, as you know, Roz, is the de facto border between the two countries. This attack itself has been pretty graphic. I mean, the bus driver who survived the attack described this as a rainfall of bullets, and finally a rocket hit the bus. The Indians have consistently said that this is something that they're doing to avenge the deaths of their own soldiers, that India blames that Pakistan mutilated and sent back to Indian bases, something that's become a really emotive issue in India.
So we have this violence between India and Pakistan, but do both governments do this for real military gain or for consumption via their domestic media?
Ross, there's a bit of background here to what's going on in Kashmir. I was actually just speaking to a journalist friend in Kashmir who described this as Kashmir's own summer of discontent, death and violence. There has been an unending, attacks, counterattacks from India, from Pakistan. The total number of casualties, Pakistan says, have been 30 civilians have died since August. India says a dozen have died in Indian-administered Kashmir. And all of this is taking place in the backdrop of a lot of unrest against Indian rule as well. More than 80 people have died in violence during protests against Indian rule in Indian-administered Kashmir. And as you said about the diplomacy between the two countries, even at the best of times, it's difficult, relations between the two countries. We've seen some green shoots of hope. We know that Sartaj Aziz, who's a senior foreign policy advisor, is traveling to India in the coming few weeks, and hopes are that possibly there should be a breakthrough or at least some sort of dialogue between the two sides.
Rahul, thank you very much indeed. Those of you watching, if you want further coverage on that, you can get it from Rahul and his colleagues, BBC Asian Network, and if you speak Hindi, through bbchindi.com as well.